One challenge every nutritionist has when they're formulating pet food, no matter how well they think they've done as far as the provision of protein or the sources of energy, fats, carbohydrates, etc., minerals, vitamins, all of it. Even if you've done a magnificent job of all that, one thing you have to do is you have to control the rate of passage of the food through the GI tract. If you don't do a proper job of that, you've just made huge mistakes, and you're going to break your arm patting yourself on the back at the same time the dog's eating your food have diarrhea. Big mistake. You have to be sure that dog food passage rate is controlled. Here's why. Number one, digestion is a process that takes time. It takes time break down those nutrients, that bacterial action to work, the acids, the enzymes, to break down the food into its simpler nutrients that then can be absorbed. If the food's passing through the system pretty rapidly, and then you're getting a little bit of a loose stool, which is what you would get when food passes through rapidly, that means there wasn't much time from the time the dog ate the food till he excreted feces from that food for that breakdown of food to take place. Remember, that digestion process takes time to ferment the food, takes heat. All of that's natural. All of it is set in stone. You don't change that. So what should you do about it as a nutritionist that's natural, that's healthy, that addresses it? Well, what you should do is you should provide an ingredient, a very special ingredient, that helps the moisture level of the food maintain a certain type of stability as it goes through the system. The reason you want that is because if you have a stable moisture level, you're going to have a very, very stable passage time. It's not too fast and not too slow. If you put too much of this special fiber in the food, you're going to wind up with constipation. Put too little or none, you have too loose of stools and the food went through too quickly. Company's done a very, very good job over the years of being a food famous, really, for producing dogs that have very regular, very healthy stools that are easy to excrete, easy to clean up, don't have much odor, and all of the above is, of course, good. The way we do it, we use beet pulp, and we use it at a very special level, and it's a level that we determined through research to be what we feel is the ideal level. The reason we use beet pulp, and let's talk about it, because there's a lot of things on the internet, etc., about beet pulp has sugar in it, beet pulp has this and that in it. Let's talk about beet pulp. What is it? Well, beet pulp is what remains after companies who grow sugar beets, and then they cook them in water, and they squeeze them, and they squeeze the sugar out of them, and believe me, they squeeze all the sugar out of them. They want every bit of the sugar. That's what's worth money in the sugar beet. What they've got left after it dries out is this pulp material. It's just dry, not very attractive, doesn't have any color or much smell, pulp. What is good about it is that it absorbs water very, very well, and it maintains and holds that water very well, and that while it's wet, it's very soft. So it's soft, it doesn't irritate the intestinal lining, it controls that rate of passage of food through the system, doesn't have any sugar in it. If it's any, it's less than like 1%. All of even the color from the sugar beet, the red color, has been removed from it. There's really nothing left but simple pulp. Very simple. Doesn't have hardly any protein in it, doesn't have any calories to speak of in it. It's just some healthy fiber. It's extremely important that it be in there, and it's extremely important that it be at the right level. Some people say, well, why don't you use the supposedly better tomato pomace or one of these other fibers? Well, if you don't want any sugar or don't want much sugar in a pet food, well, tomato pomace is one of the main things you don't want to use because it's got about 16% sugar in it. It's also not as good a fiber, in my opinion, as the beet pulp fiber. Another thing, beet pulp's not an inexpensive fiber. It's an expensive ingredient. It costs way more than corn or anything else like that. So those of you who are writing right now to your internet site how cheap it is and what I'm saying is wrong, you better check your facts. It is an extremely important, very healthy, totally scientifically sound way to control the passage rate of this food. You do have to use the right level, and it's easy to mess up on that. You can use too little, you got a problem. You can use too much, you got constipation. So we're real comfortable with the level we've come up with, real comfortable with how much time that gives us to get that corn digested, real comfortable with what all happens. And also the beet pulp, the small amount of it that is digestible acts as a prebiotic to the bacteria that are already in the system, just like the other prebiotic I spoke of in the other segment. It feeds the bacteria that are already in the system. It makes them healthier. It makes them proliferate and multiply more. So even more digestive activity takes place. You have very little nutrients that are coming out in feces from dogs that eat comfy, because all the nutrients got digested and stayed in your dog. So you can feed less food, save you money. The dog's healthier, doesn't get overweight. Got a healthy dog that loves the food in the first place because of the natural flavors. It's really a great combination. It's worth a try, no matter what you've read or learned or thought you learned about nutrition. If you will try this product, look at the dogs with your own eyes, the way they act, look, enjoy the food, health, the way their stools look, entire spectrum of it. Give it a try. It's certainly worth that. We hope you'll do that, and we hope you'll enjoy using Comfy products. Thank you.